Hello everyone, welcome back to Junk Drawer Digital's YouTube channel. I'm so excited about today's video, it's the very first launch of 2025. It also kicks off this year's monthly series. Let me introduce you to Steampunk January, Winter Wanderlust, the perfect blend of frosty adventure and vintage charm. A quick note about future videos. From now on, I'll be prepping all my pieces in advance, unless there's something I really need to show you step by step on paper. It just makes editing and uploading a lot quicker. Don't worry though, you won't miss out on any of the important details. Let me tell you a little about this year's monthly kits. This time, we've got a wider spine, and the basic shape you see will stay the same throughout the year. But everything else will change each month, from the closure to the inner pieces, plus a fresh new design every time. Instead of a journal with a calendar page, this year we'll have a calendar tag or card that can be placed anywhere in the folio. And yes, there will still be a journal too. Which brings us to this kit's journal. It's actually a notepad, but you can also use it to create ephemera pieces. Each sheet includes 3 notepad pages. Last but not least, there are a few optional elements I'll be using for this project. I have a piece of plastic bag that I'm using for the window pocket, but feel free to use vellum, acetate, or leave it uncovered. I also have a small charm that looks like a doorknob, which I'll use to create a faux closure. Plus, I've got some tiny magnets, brads, and gear charms to embellish the folio and add that extra steampunk touch. Let's start by attaching the doorknob to our closure flap. This is just for decoration, the mini magnets I'll add later will handle the actual closing. I'm marking the center of the flap and using a crocodile to punch a tiny hole for the knob to go through. I'm covering the brad legs with a piece of double-sided tape before attaching the narrow tuck spot piece. This adds extra durability and keeps everything secure. Finally, I'm attaching this piece to give it a neat and polished finish. Let's move on to the window pocket flap. For the cutout window, you'll need a piece of acetate, vellum, or plastic measuring 2¼ inches by 5 inches, or 6 centimeters by 12.5 centimeters. I'm applying double-sided tape along all 4 sides of the window for a clean and seamless finish. Once it's done, let's place it on the front side of the flap to create a pocket. Then, we'll move on to the layered pockets. Next, let's prepare the sleeve pocket by starting with the back pockets on the sleeve flap. Place the pockets above the attachment tab, with the rounded corners pointing up. Score firmly along these lines to make shaping the sleeve pocket easier. I'm continuing with the magnet closure for the sleeve pocket too. I'm roughly eyeballing where the flap overlaps with the sleeve, then marking the center to place the mini magnets. The double-sided tape I'm using is strong enough to keep the magnets securely in place. I place two magnets together and stick a piece of double-sided tape on the top one, but I leave the backing paper on for now. Next, I add the gear charms to decorate the flap. It's easier to do this before attaching the flap to the folio base. I simply position it where I like and secure it with double-sided tape. Of course, this step is totally optional, just a little extra touch if you feel like adding more detail. Now let's apply some glue, or any adhesive you prefer, to shape the sleeve pocket. I like using liquid glue because it gives me a little time to adjust and wiggle things into place if needed. Now it's time to attach all the pieces we've prepared to the folio. Let's start with the closure flap. Attach it to the inside of the right panel of the folio, making sure to align it as accurately as possible. Next, attach the left flap, the piece shaped like a hot air balloon. Place the window pocket flap onto the tab of the hot air balloon flap, leaving just enough space to allow for movement. Next, attach the layered pockets to the folio. They will slightly overlap the window pocket tab, but that's perfectly fine. Let's attach the final piece, the sleeve pocket. When attaching its parts, make sure the flap aligns with the bottom section when closed. Now I can remove the backing paper from the double-sided tape. I'm adding 2 pairs of magnets to the corners of the closure flap to finish the folio. If the doorknob creates a bump, I might add a 3rd magnet in the middle for extra hold. I'm using double-sided tape again to secure the magnets in place. Yep, the doorknob definitely creates a bump, so I'm adding another magnet right underneath it. Honestly, one magnet here might have done the trick. The folio base is complete. Now let's add the calendar tag and assemble the notepad as the final pieces. Let's make our calendar tag, along with the small note tag. This is pretty basic, so it will be on fast mode. There are two tab sizes for the calendar and note card. I'm using the larger one, but feel free to choose whichever fits your style best. Let's put together our notepad. This kit includes 4 sheets, each with 3 notepad pages, plus 4 extra papers. I printed a different design on the back of each notepad page, but you can leave the backs blank if you prefer. You can also glue the pages back to back to create a charming accordion-style journal, perfect for adding a little interactive flair to your project. I've added an extra band at the top to hold our papers in place with a staple. I also used a trimmer that creates tear marks. I ran it about 1/8 inch, or a couple of millimeters, below the band to make the pages easy to tear off. It's a fun little detail that adds both function and charm. Alright, let's gather the papers and staple them together. Things might get a little bumpy here, sorry about that. But hey, that's part of the fun, right? I saved a piece of paper from the folio base. It has that lovely inner design on the back. I'm going to use it to cover the staples and add a bit of glue for extra security. It's a simple touch that keeps everything neat and adds a little extra charm to the notepad. And that's it, the notepad is ready. If I feel like making some ephemera or writing a note to tuck into one of the pockets, I can just tear off a page I like and go for it. It's so handy to have these ready-to-use sheets. Now let's add some personal touches to our folio. Thank you so much for watching, I hope you're crafting along with me. I'd love to hear your suggestions, so feel free to leave a comment. And if you enjoyed this video, a thumbs up and subscription would mean the world to me. Wishing you a creative and craft-filled year. I'll see you next time.
Bye!